Can a private investigator with the right tools rebuild what you did on a particular day or group of days and who you did it with 3 years ago? Yes, they can. What if I told you that with the right technology, the right records, and enough money, an investigator could potentially reconstruct a significant portion of what happened during a particular day or group of days in the past? Where a device traveled, what time it arrived, how long it remained at a location, where a vehicle was seen, what purchases were made, and potentially combine all of that information to begin reconstructing a timeline. Sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? Well, it's not Back to the Future, but it is happening every day. Technology is changing the way investigations are conducted. And today I want to talk to you about different types of investigative technology and information can potentially be layered together to reconstruct someone's movements and activities. One company involved in location intelligence is called Fog Data Science. Now, before we go any further, let me explain something. This is going to be a very basic overview. The technology, the legal issues surrounding it, and the methods used to analyze this type of information are far more complicated than I can explain in a 5 to 10 minute video. But I want to give you an idea of what this type of investigative technology can potentially do. Most people carry a smartphone with them everywhere they go. That phone contains applications, and some of those applications collect location information. That information can become part of the enormous commercial data third-party marketplace. Fog Data Science developed a location intelligence platform known as Reveal. In very simple terms, location intelligence can allow an analyst to examine location signals associated with mobile devices. Depending on the available data and circumstances, this type of information can potentially help identify devices that were present within a particular geographical area during a particular period of time. From there, the analyst may be able to examine movement patterns associated with the device. Now notice that I keep saying device. That is extremely important. Location data showing that a device was somewhere does not automatically prove that a particular person was carrying that device. And this is where actual investigation comes into play, because one piece of information rarely tells you the entire story. Let me give you a hypothetical example. Suppose an investigation involves a particular period of time on a particular day. Location intelligence indicates that a device traveled from one area to another. The device remains at a particular location for 45 minutes. Then it travels to another location, and then another. By itself, that information may be interesting. But now let's add another layer. Flock cameras are automated license plate recognition cameras that can capture information associated with vehicles traveling through areas where the cameras are operating. And they're everywhere. More and more every day. So now, potentially, we have location information associated with a mobile device, and we may also have records indicating that a particular vehicle was observed in a particular area at a particular time. Now let's add another layer, detailed financial records. A credit card transaction occurs at a restaurant near one of those locations. Later, another transaction occurs at a gas station. And now we begin putting the pieces together, like this. At 9:15, location information indicates that the device was moving through a particular area. At 9:32, a flock camera records a vehicle associated with the investigation traveling through that same general area. At 10:05, the device arrives at another location, and at 10:12, a financial transaction occurs at a restaurant nearby. The device remains in that area for 45 minutes. Later, the device begins moving again. Another flock camera records the vehicle. A gas station transaction occurs. Maybe there's surveillance video at the gas station. Maybe there's a receipt. Maybe there's a witness who remembers seeing the person. Now we're no longer looking at one piece of information. We're layering multiple sources of information together. Location intelligence, vehicle sightings, financial transactions, surveillance video, receipts, and witness statements. Each piece of information potentially supports, contradicts, or provides context for the other pieces, and suddenly the investigator begins developing a timeline. And when enough legally obtained information is combined and properly analyzed, an investigator may be able to reconstruct significant portions of a particular day or period of time. This is what people sometimes misunderstand about modern investigations. There usually isn't one magical database that tells us everything. Good investigations are built by collecting separate pieces of information, analyzing them, corroborating them, and determining how those pieces fit together. Location intelligence is one potential piece of the puzzle. License plate recognition information is another. Financial records are another. Surveillance is another. Witness interviews, yet another. And the job of the investigator is to determine how those pieces fit together. Now, before you start thinking that every private investigator in America has a magic computer screen where we type in your name and watch everywhere you've been over the last 5 years, let me assure you that is not how this works. First, there are serious legal and privacy issues surrounding this type of information. The laws and court decisions involving commercially available location data, financial information, and automated license plate recognition technology continue to be important and evolving areas. Investigators and their clients need to understand the legal authority they have to obtain and use information. Second, access to sophisticated investigative technology and data can be limited. And third, investigations involving this data can become extremely expensive. And I mean extremely. You may need sophisticated specialized technology, specialized analysts, financial investigators, private investigators, attorneys, surveillance teams, records, and potentially hundreds of hours of work to collect, review, compare, analyze, and corroborate all the available information. This is one reason you don't see this level of investigation conducted in every cheating spouse case, every child custody dispute, or every routine civil investigation. In many cases, the cost simply cannot be justified. The client has to have legitimate need for the information. The potential value of the investigation has to justify the expense. And quite frankly, in some cases, the client needs to have extremely deep pockets. Extremely high financial stakes, advanced location intelligence, and data analysis can potentially become very powerful investigative tools. But I want to leave you with one final thought. Technology does not replace the investigator. Data does not investigate itself. A computer may give you millions, even billions of data points, but someone still needs to determine what those data points mean. Someone has to compare them with other evidence. Someone has to identify inconsistencies. Someone has to corroborate the information, and someone has to put all those pieces together into a timeline that actually makes sense. 30 years ago, an investigator might have spent days sitting in a car trying to determine where someone went. Today, location intelligence may help identify the movements of a device. License plate recognition systems may identify where a vehicle was observed. Financial records may indicate where and when transactions occurred, and cameras may provide video. Witnesses may provide context, and an experienced investigator can begin putting those individual pieces together. Technology can potentially provide investigators with information that we could only have dreamed about having 30 years ago. But the fundamental principles of investigations haven't changed. Collect the information, analyze the information, corroborate the information, and follow the evidence wherever it leads. Technology may have changed the tools we use, but it hasn't changed what it means to be an investigator. My name is Andy Crutchfield, and I'm the Senior Investigator here at Advanced Protective Services in Kennesaw, Georgia. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's right over here. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we do an upload, and we do one each and every week. Until next time, have a great day.